2 weeks? You have been doing this for 2 weeks. That is not a small thing. The deciding tip has now sat in silence twice. First learning not to generate, then learning to move through the body and notice what was there. 2 different disciplines, 2 different halves of one developing capacity. Come to the edge of the chair now and find the posture you know. Weight slightly forward, feet flat, hands settled. And the spine, feel for the base of it, the lift through the middle, the length through the back of the neck and through the crown. Not rigid, alive. The spine stays. Everything else softens around it. Close your eyes. Now breathe. 1 full inhale. Feel the chest and belly both receive it, and exhale completely. And now let it go. Let the breath find its own rhythm. You are not breathing. The system is breathing through you. The breath is arriving without your instruction, as it has been arriving since before you were old enough to know it was arriving. You did not send for it. It came. It is a gift arriving continuously. You are the recipient. Feel it moving. Two weeks ago, you discovered that the deciding tip, left without a task, will manufacture one immediately. It offered to-do lists. It replayed conversations. It proposed improvements to the session while the session was happening. You watched that. You saw the homeless mind for what it was. That was week 1. Last week, you brought the conscious mind home. You moved it through the body region by region. Scalp, forehead, jaw, shoulders, hands, chest, heart, diaphragm, feet. Arriving at each place and noticing what was actually there. Some of those regions surprised you. Some of them had been unvisited for years. The body was not waiting for you with complaints. It was simply doing its work. You arrived. That was week 2. This week is something neither of those weeks prepared you for. Feel the breath for a moment before the argument begins. Just the breath. Arriving, leaving. The body doing what it has always done while the mind has been elsewhere. Look around the room you are sitting in. You know what a room looks like. A chair, a wall, a window. Whatever surfaces and objects are nearby, the mind catalogs them automatically. That is what minds do. They identify things. They pin nouns onto the world. Now ask a question. What is between the things? Your first answer is probably air, empty space, nothing of consequence. The objects are the reality. The gaps between them are the gaps. That picture is wrong. And here is how physics discovered it was wrong. Imagine a room, completely sealed, airtight. Now attach a vacuum pump and remove everything inside. Every molecule of air, every trace of gas, every particle of matter. A perfect vacuum. A room with absolutely nothing in it. Now play music outside the wall. Inside the room, silence. Not quiet. Silence. Complete silence. Because sound is a pressure wave. It needs molecules to push against each other, passing the vibration along. No air, no molecules, no sound. The medium is gone. The music plays, and nothing inside the room hears it. This voice you are hearing right now, these words traveling from a speaker to your ears, they are doing exactly what that music could not do in the vacuum room. They are pressure waves moving through the air between us. Molecule pushing molecule, all the way from the source to your eardrum. An unbroken chain of contact, all the way across the room. Remove the air, and this voice stops. not fades, not grows distant, stops entirely, the words would still be spoken. They would reach no one. Now flip a light switch. The room fills with light. The light crossed the room instantly, silently, through nothing. The room is empty. There is nothing in it. So what did the light just travel through? Sound needs air. Light needs what? If the room is genuinely empty, how did the light get in? This question troubled physicists for 200 years. They assumed there must be something filling all of space, some invisible substance that light could ripple through the way sound ripples through air. They called it the ether. For 2 centuries, it was assumed to exist. Then in 1887, an experiment proved it did not. There was no ether. Light was traveling through what appeared to be genuine nothingness. That was the crisis. And what physics found when it resolved the crisis did not just fix the problem. It inverted everything we thought we knew about the nature of reality. The room is not empty, not because we failed to remove everything. Even a theoretically perfect vacuum, 0 particles, 0 matter, 0 gas of any kind, is filled with something that cannot be removed, something that has no off switch, something that is present at every single point in space simultaneously, without exception, without gap. Not sparse, not thin, not absent where matter is. A plenum, a fullness, infinitely dense with potential. The fields, electromagnetic, electron, quark, gravitational, stretch across the entire universe, and they are present everywhere at once. The vacuum is not empty space. The vacuum is the fields at rest. The light traveled through your sealed room because the electromagnetic field was already there, before the switch was flipped, before the room was built, before any human thought to ask the question. It is always there. Now, what are particles? Quantum field theory, the most precisely tested framework in the history of science, confirmed to accuracy beyond any other theory humans have ever produced, says particles are not the fundamental layer of reality. The fields are. And particles are not separate objects existing independently of the fields. Particles are what fields do when they are disturbed. Think of a still pond. The surface is undisturbed. Throw a stone. A ripple forms. A localized disturbance traveling outward from the point of impact. The ripple is not a separate object that jumped into the pond. The ripple is the pond doing something. The pond is the medium. The ripple is its local expression. Now hold that image and apply it to everything. An electron is not a tiny ball floating through space. An electron is a ripple in the electron field. A localized excitation, a concentrated vibration in a field that stretches across the entire cosmos. A photon of light is a ripple in the electromagnetic field. A quark is a ripple in the quark field. Every subatomic particle, every building block of matter, every atom in your body, every star in the sky, every force that has ever acted on anything, ripples. All of it ripples in one field. And the mathematics governing those ripples is exact, not approximate, not close, exact. The electron field produces electrons with precisely the same charge, precisely the same mass every single time, anywhere in the universe, across all of time. Not similar, identical. The constants are constant. The laws are laws. There is no deviation, no rounding, no drift, no error. If there were, if the charge of the electron varied by even a fraction, atoms would not form, chemistry would not exist, biology would not exist, you would not exist. The perfection of the mathematics is not a feature the field happens to have. It is what the field is. The relating is exact. Reality is held together by perfect mathematical expression at every point simultaneously, without exception, without interruption, without error. Come back to the room for a moment. The chair beneath you, the floor, the walls, the air between your skin and everything around it, which means the chair you are sitting on is not solid matter resting in empty space. It is a particular pattern of ripples in the same field as the floor beneath it, the air above it, the walls of the room, and you. There is no empty space between the chair and the floor. There is no empty space between your body and the air. There is no gap between anything and anything else. The field is everywhere. The field is between every pair of things and inside everything and constituting everything simultaneously. There is one more question, the one everything has been building toward. If particles are ripples, what is the substance between the ripples? On a pond, water. The water between the ripples is not absent. It is not nothing. It is the same substance the ripples are made of, at rest undisturbed, present, the medium from which the ripple arises and into which it returns. In the field the same, between every excitation, between every particle, between every atom, between your heartbeat and your breath, the field itself, not empty, not nothing, the field at rest, the ground from which every local expression arises. Present everywhere, always, unable to be switched off. This is not space between things. This is the relating itself, the continuous, undivided, never absent medium in which all of reality is occurring. Feel the breath, just one breath, in and out, the air moving through your lungs, molecules pressing against molecules, the same medium carrying this voice to your ears right now. And underneath that breath, the heartbeat, a wave moving through fluid and tissue. Two ripples, different rhythms, different frequencies, both excitations of the same underlying field. And between the heartbeat and the breath, not empty space, the field, the relating itself. Present between every cell and every adjacent cell, between the nerve and the muscle it fires, between every part of you and every other part, holding all of it together, continuously, right now. Both of them happening in you without your instruction. Both of them ripples in the same water. The physics arrived at the field through experiment. The mathematics arrived at the same place without ever entering a laboratory. The golden ratio in the Nautilus shell and the spiral arms of galaxies hundreds of thousands of light years across. The Gutenberg-Richter law governing earthquake frequency and the exact same mathematical form appearing in city population sizes across any country, in solar flare intensity, in word frequency in any human language, in wildfire sizes, in internet traffic patterns, in the citation counts of scientific papers. Systems with no physical connection, no shared material, no causal relationship of any kind, all of them, the same underlying mathematical structure, the same relational law. The shell and the galaxy are both excitations of the same underlying fields, relating according to the same laws, because it is the same field doing the expressing. There is not a shell law and a galaxy law, and a city law and a cicada law. There is one field, and mathematics is how that field describes itself. The field is not the medium through which things relate. The field is the relating itself. There is not one set of things and another set of relationships connecting them. There is one continuous field, and what you call things are the field expressing in local patterns, and what you call relationships are the field expressing in connections between those patterns. And both the patterns and the connections are the same field doing one continuous thing. This is why the same mathematics describes phenomena that have nothing in common. When Maxwell wrote his equations for electromagnetism in the 1860s, the equations already contained radio waves. Nobody told him about radio waves. Nobody had ever produced one. 20 years later, Hertz produced them in a laboratory, and they obeyed exactly the equations that had been waiting for them. Written in Edinburgh, confirmed in Berlin. Nothing connecting the two events except the relational structure of the field itself. The pattern was already there, waiting, patient, complete, before any human instrument existed to find it. When Greek mathematicians studied prime numbers in pure abstraction more than 2,000 years ago, they had no interest in cicadas. And yet the cicada's life cycle is built on prime numbers. 13 years, 17 years, because prime cycles minimize overlap with predator cycles. The mathematicians were not predicting cicadas. The cicadas were not consulting mathematicians. 25 centuries separated the two events. Nothing connected them except the same underlying relational structure. Already there, already complete, waiting to be traced from either direction. Mathematics is not a separate thing that happens to fit reality. Mathematics is the language of relation. Reality is relation. Of course they match. They are describing the same structure from different angles. One from inside the human mind, one from inside the laboratory, because both are mapping the same field. Feel that for a moment. Every system, every scale, every substrate, the nautilus in the galaxy, the earthquake in the city, the cicada and the Greek mathematician, the equations in Edinburgh and the laboratory in Berlin. One field, everywhere, always describing itself in the only language precise enough to contain it. He is before all things, and in him all things hold together. Colossians 1:17. The verse is doing precise philosophical work. In him, not next to him, not enabled by him, not created by him in some past moment and then released. In him all things hold together. The relating is not external to the source. The relating is the source expressing toward what it has made. The Greek verb the apostle uses means continuously cohering, present tense, ongoing, never switched off. The apostle said it in the 1st century. Physics confirmed it 20 centuries later through the most precise measurements humans have ever made. And it is not abstract. It is here, in this chest. This is what underlies what you discovered last week in your own body. The patterns inside you, the branching, the oscillation, the rhythm, are not things you happen to contain. They are local expressions of the same relating that holds everything else together. Your heartbeat is not a separate event from the rest of the universe. It is the same field expressing through the particular configuration that is you. The breath moving in and out of you is not a private mechanical process. It is the relating itself, continuous with the relating that organizes a galaxy. You have been swimming in this your entire life. Every breath, every heartbeat, every oscillation of every neuron firing as you sit here right now. Not metaphor, not poetry, the same field, the same relating, the same pattern that was waiting in Maxwell's equations before anyone knew to look for it. It is in you. It is what you are made of. It is what is sustaining you at this precise moment. The same field that was waiting in those equations is already in you. Feel the breath, the air arriving right now, moving into the lungs through the same field that moves between galaxies. The same relating that holds the electron to its orbit, holding the oxygen molecule together as it crosses into your blood. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap, the floor under your feet, the particular weight and warmth of this body, sitting in this chair in this room, held together right now by the same relating that holds the cosmos together. You did not have to go anywhere to find this. You are not looking at it from outside. You are it, sitting here, right now. This week, you begin to notice it directly. Last week, you observed regions of your body one at a time. That is what minds naturally do. They take one object, examine it, set it down, take the next, examine it, set it down. Sequential, singular, one thing at a time. This week, the practice changes. You are going to hold two things at once and notice not either of them, but the relating between them. Specifically, the breath and the heartbeat. The breath is slower, 12 to 20 cycles a minute. The heartbeat is faster, 60 to 100 beats a minute. They run on different clocks. They cross over each other in patterns that change with each inhalation and each exhalation. The invitation is to feel both at once in the same chest you have carried your whole life, and notice what moves between them. Before we begin, here is what is happening in the brain when this works, because understanding it changes how you hold the experience. When you hold two internal rhythms in attention simultaneously and notice the relating between them, three things change inside the brain. The first is an increase in gamma band activity. Gamma is the frequency at which the brain solves what neuroscientists call the binding problem. How separate streams of information get integrated into a single unified experience. When you hold breath and heartbeat in attention at the same time, gamma is what does the binding. The second is increased recruitment of the frontal lobes, the dorsolateral prefrontal cortex, and the anterior cingulate. These are the regions that monitor the rest of the brain, that hold goals across distractions, that maintain a stable observing perspective when lower regions are firing. They are the structural seat of the metacognitive observer. They activate when the system is asked to watch itself. The third is the most important. It is called cross-frequency coupling. The breath and heartbeat run at slow frequencies, fractions of a hertz to a few hertz. The conscious observer runs much faster. gamma in the tens to hundreds of hertz range. Cross-frequency coupling is the documented neurological phenomenon by which fast oscillations become phase-locked to slow ones, allowing the high-frequency conscious activity to coordinate with low-frequency subconscious rhythms without overriding them. It is the bridge, literal, physical, measurable, electrical bridge between the conscious and the subconscious. Not the conscious mind dominating the subconscious, not the subconscious overrunning the conscious. A stable observer holding both in coherent relationship. This is what the deciding tip was always meant to do. When this exercise works, and it will across the 7 days, that is the mechanism coming online. What you are about to do in your chest is not separate from what the physics described. The breath and the heartbeat are both excitations of the same field. Two ripples, different rhythms, different clocks, not synchronized, not in phase, running as they have run your entire life, each on its own. The practice is not going to force them together. You are not going to synchronize them. You are not going to control them. You are going to bring your awareness to the relating between them and allow the relating to do what the relating does at every other scale of reality. What does the relating do? It brings its expressions into coherence, not by force, not by direction, by the same mathematical precision that keeps the electron field exact across all of space-time. The field relates its expressions in harmonic order because that is the nature of the field. Coherence is not something imposed on the field from outside. Coherence is what the field produces when nothing is interfering with it. Every layer of your body already knows this. The atoms in your tissues relate to each other through perfect mathematical law. No error, no drift. The cells relate through precise chemical signaling. The organs relate through coordinated rhythms. Layer after layer, the same field producing coherent relationship at every scale. Somewhere above all of that, the conscious mind learned to run on its own clock, disconnected, out of phase, planning, ruminating, always elsewhere. This practice is not adding something new. It is restoring the conscious layer to the same coherence that every layer beneath it already has. As that observation deepens across the 7 days, the relating begins to draw those expressions into more harmonious relationship. Not because you directed it, because you stopped interfering with it. Holding both rhythms in attention and noticing the relating between them is the field observing two of its own local expressions from a third, the one you call your conscious mind. The coherence the HeartMath research documents, the hemisphere synchronization in the brain scan data, the cross-frequency coupling that builds across the 7 days, none of that is produced by the practice. It is revealed by the practice. The relating was always doing this. You are learning to let it. Come back to the breath. This is already the practice. Coming back to the breath is coming back to the relating. It is still here. It never left. Feel it moving in the chest. Let it be the ground you step from. Now bring your attention to the center of your chest, behind the breastbone. Find the heartbeat first. It may be subtle. Let your attention rest there, and the heartbeat will become available as the body quiets. Do not force it. Do not press your hand to your chest. Simply let attention arrive in the chest and wait. The heartbeat, feel it, the steady rhythm that has been running since before you had the nervous system to know it was running. 100,000 beats today alone, not once asking permission. Now add the breath. You do not need to look for it. It is already moving. The rise and fall of the chest, the air arriving, the air releasing. Do not change it. Simply add it to what you are already holding. Hold both at once, the heartbeat and the breath, both in the same chest, both in the same field of attention, the same word, the same thing. Now, and this is where the practice actually begins. Notice not the heartbeat, not the breath, but the relating between them. The breath is a slow wave. The heart is a fast pulse. They run on different clocks. They cross each other in rhythms that have never been identical twice. The two of them are in conversation, a conversation that has been going on inside your chest since the day you were born. You have never listened to it before. One thing to hold as you enter, the place from which both rhythms can be observed simultaneously does not yet exist fully in you. The brain has to build it. On day one, the two rhythms will feel like two separate objects you are trying to hold with attention that keeps wanting to choose one. That is not failure. That is the exact difficulty the exercise is designed to work through. By day 4 or 5, something shifts. The two rhythms begin to feel held in a single field of attention rather than tracked separately. That shift, that quiet expansion, is the new center coming online. Do not chase it. Do not look for it. Let the 7 days build it. Listen now. Now practice. 4 guardrails before the silence begins. Do not count. Counting turns rhythm into object. The moment you are counting beats, you have stopped listening to the relating and started measuring inventory. Drop it and return to felt rhythm. Do not synchronize. Do not try to slow the breath to match the heart, or hold the breath to hear the heartbeat more clearly. Both rhythms are running themselves. Your job is to watch them relate, not to arrange the relating. Do not collapse onto one. The mind will want to retreat to the breath alone, because one thing is easier than two. Notice when that happens and gently widen back to both. Do not analyze. You are not constructing an explanation of why the rhythms move the way they do. You are listening to a conversation. Stay in the listening. When the mind wanders, and it will, and that is not failure, notice where it went. Then come back. Chest, the warmth behind the breastbone, the heartbeat, the breath, the relating between them. You are already back. Listen now. Chest, both rhythms, the relating between them. heartbeat. The breath. Not either. The relating. The spine stays. Both. The relating. If you collapsed onto one, widen back. Find both. If the mind wandered, come home. Chest, heart, breath, relating. The warmth behind the breastbone. The heartbeat in that warmth. the breath around it. Both rhythms, in the same chest. The spine stays. Both. The relating. If you collapsed, widen. If you wandered, come home. Both rhythms, one observer. Something is being built in the returning. Let it build. the conversation in the chest. The space between two beats. Rest there. The spine stays. Both rhythms, the relating between them. The space between two beats. Rest there. Now, stay in the chest. Let the attention soften slightly, not onto the heartbeat, not onto the breath, into the space in which both are moving. The silence between one heartbeat and the next, the air between the chest wall and the lung. That space is not empty. The heartbeat is an excitation of it. The breath is moving through it. Neither rhythm generates itself. Both are being held in something that is holding everything. Try to feel it, not as a concept, as what is actually here between one pulse and the next. That same field, it is not only between the two rhythms. It is between every cell and every adjacent cell. Between the nerve and the muscle it fires. Between the lung and the heart that depends on it. The same relating, continuous, never switched off, not touching you from outside. Constituting you from within. You are not swimming through it. You are an expression of it, feeling itself from the inside. In him, all things hold together. Your heartbeat, your breath, every cell, every nerve, every relating part of you, held together in the same field that holds everything else. You are not outside this. You are it noticing itself. When you are ready, and not before, let the attention soften. Release the specific focus on the two rhythms. Let awareness broaden to the whole chest, the whole body, the room around you. Feel the weight of your hands in your lap, the weight of your feet on the floor. Let sounds return, the near ones and the far ones. When you are ready, open your eyes slowly. Something happened in that silence. Not dramatically, but really. A vantage point that did not fully exist before you sat down is more real than it was. The new center does not arrive all at once. It arrives across 7 days of returning to the silence. Each return builds it. Each day it becomes slightly more stable than the day before. By day 7, something will operate during your ordinary life that was not operating before. You will notice the breath go shallow before the anxiety rises. And in that noticing, a fraction of a second of space will open between the trigger and the reaction. You will catch yourself watching a response from slightly outside it instead of being inside it, unable to see its edges. You will find the pause between two thoughts and recognize it as a place you can choose what comes next. That space, that fraction of a second, that is the new center operating outside the session. It was built in the silence, in the returning, in the holding of two rhythms at once, 7 days in a row, in this chair, in this room, right now. That is what this week builds. Day by day, return by return, the relating restoring what it always knew how to do. Things taken together are whole and not whole, something which is being brought together and brought apart, which is in tune and out of tune. Out of all things there comes a unity, and out of a unity all things. Heraclitus, Fragment 10. 2,500 years before anyone had language for cross-frequency coupling, he noticed something simpler. The relating is what produces unity from multiplicity, and the unity always re-expresses as multiplicity, and both are always happening at once. That is the field, in his words. That is also what your chest was doing for the last several minutes. The breath moving, the heart beating, the relating between them, holding them in tune even though they run on different clocks. You were listening to it directly, and the relating heard you listening. The log is waiting. Fill it in now. What did you actually experience? Did the relating between breath and heart appear at any point? And if so, what did it feel like? Where did the observing vantage point feel stable, and where did it collapse? Write it in one sentence if that is all you have. That is how the two halves of the mind meet. On the page, in your own words. 6 days remaining. Same posture, same silence, same chest, both rhythms. The relating between them. The relating in your chest has been running since the first beat your heart ever produced. You sat down today and listened to it directly for the first time. That is not nothing. Same time tomorrow.